In my opinion, every piece of horror media needs subtlety and room to let the audience breathe and regain a sense of safety before destroying it again with a scare or some kind of tension. One of the ways the Resident Evil games does this is through its safe rooms. Of course, their main function is to let the players save their game and store away any items that aren't immediately needed, but they allow for players to get their energy and sanity back up before both are eaten away by the ravenous zombies just beyond the door. Now, while the environment and style of the safe rooms certainly help in their calming nature, it can't be denied that the music that accompanies these places pulls its own weight when it comes to adding to the soothing nature of these break rooms. So, in today's video, I'll be going through every safe room music in Resident Evil, giving a small review, then ranking them. Just remember, all these opinions are just my thoughts, and you're more than likely going to disagree on some of my rankings, so please, add your thoughts down below about the safe room songs we're about to discuss. Resident Evil 1 starts things off with a sweet but short melody that helps players take a breath before continuing the madness. The harp and organ work quite well together and really add on to the ambience and atmosphere the Spencer mansion brings. It mixes with the mystery and contention beautifully. It even has a dreamlike feel to it to really wrap it up with its calming nature. Also, let me know if any of you think this one sounds a bit like aquatic ambience from Donkey Kong Country. Anyways, I put this one in A tier. Before we move on, let's bring up the director's cut version of this tune. For those unfamiliar, the director's cut of the first game had a few additions and changes to the gameplay and music, which included the safe room song of course, and most fans aren't exactly fond of these new songs, but let's give it a listen and give it a fair chance. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. The keyboard in the background feels a little too hair raising in my opinion. I think it puts players on edge rather than giving them a sense of security, and that music box feels out of place and off rhythm. It's really not that good and certainly not appropriate for a safe room tune. We're gonna put this one in D tier. Okay, so as we're going through these games, I'm gonna place the remakes right after we talk about the original entries they're based on, considering they usually have similar compositions. So let's listen to the first remake safe for music. I think this one's good, but not excellent. The deeper sound of the harp is half and half for me. On one hand, it adds a nice paranormal ambience, which reflects perfectly how the characters feel in the big, scary mansion. On the other hand, it kind of takes away from the feeling of safety, like the safe room isn't really that safe. It's still good though, so I think I'm gonna put this one in B tier. Deadly Silence is okay. I think it could have been real good, but that harp has a real weird tempo to it. It goes slow then awkwardly speeds up. The atmospheric ambience isn't bad. It certainly feels appropriate for the Spencer mansion. It just feels like a diet version of the original Resident Evil safe room song. Perhaps the DS's limitations held it back, but I honestly doubt it. This one goes into C tier. Ah, how beautiful yet dark and mysterious this one is. That synth that drones in the background, accompanied by the slow and imitating piano, works hand in hand to let players know that beyond this area is a relentless and violent world full of monsters without thought or remorse. I think the only thing I don't like about this one is it doesn't provide much of a sense of security, which is something I think adds on to these songs because of how that works with the purpose of the safe house. Otherwise, though, it is quite good and immersive. It works well with the different types of environments the characters go through in this game, so it's going in A tier. It's honestly hard for me to decide whether I like the original or remake safe room music better. I think the melody of the original is perfect for the tone and mood of that game, and I do like the safety the remake's music provides, and it still fits in well with the mysterious vibe of the game. If there is one thing I take away from the remake safe room song, is it has kind of a depressing tone to it, and I know the Resident Evil series ain't exactly all sunshines and rainbows, but I think that such a tone messes with the purpose of the safe room. I think it should be more restoring and hopeful. I put the 2 remake in A tier. Resident Evil 3 safe room music is pretty depressing and down tempo, but I guess all things considered, it does make sense. Jill does find herself up against one of the scariest and strongest of Umbrella's creations, and she's seen Nemesis kill one of her Star's colleagues, so I'm gonna let this one slide with its sadder mood. I put this one in B tier because even though it does fit in quite well with the atmosphere of this game, the composition feels a little flat in my opinion. I think this is definitely one of the best safe room songs. I think it fits the vibes of this remake perfectly. The haunting piano and synth really creeps into the player's mind, reminding them Nemesis is right around the corner, Jill is pretty much alone on this mission, and that Raccoon City will be gone if something's not done quickly. Damn, I always forget how dark these two are. Easy A tier for me. Survivor's song is not bad, it's got a decent amount of atmosphere, and the piano does have a more hopeful timbre to it, which makes sense considering how the protagonist is kind of just a normal dude and not a trained professional like previous Resident Evil characters. However, I'm not exactly sure such a slow theme really fits with this game considering it's a light gun game, which is fast and requires quick reflexes as opposed to the slower, more immersive gameplay of the preceding games. I put this one in C tier. Code Veronica's safe room music is okay, I guess. Its haunting ambience isn't bad, and there is some hope in it, but it feels a little whimsical in my opinion, which is a feeling I don't really think fits Resident Evil. It sounds like one of the songs from the medieval games if they were more down-tempo and sadder. Here, have a listen to a song from that franchise and let me know what you think. I'd probably put this one in C tier. I hope they fix this one up in the supposed Code Veronica remake, although I'm just more excited to see Claire again. Zeros is alright. I think it has a decent blend between safety and mystery. I'm just not the biggest fan of the wawing keyboard in this one. I think it takes away more than it adds. That and the kind of fast piano makes things feel a bit stressful in my opinion. Don't fit in best with the vibes of the safe rooms. In C tier, 0 goes. Dead Aim has a cinematic feel to its safe room song, almost like it's a scene where the character is about to figure out something real important to do something with that information. As I mentioned with Survivor, I wish it was a bit more upbeat considering Dead Aim is also a light gun game that has the faster gameplay with it, but other than that, I quite like the melody and vibes of this one. B tier for me. Outbreak is kind of lacking. It really doesn't immerse me in the world of Resident Evil, nor does it give me any kind of emotion, whether it be frightened, relaxed, or inquisitive. Like with Survivor, I wish the safe room was a bit more upbeat considering the faster gameplay of Outbreak. This one is going to go into D tier. Resident Evil 4's music is decent. I like the quiet choir in the background. I think it fits in nicely with the village environment of this game. The composition does just enough to give an eerie and haunting feeling, but I don't know, maybe it's me. It doesn't strike me as much as some of the other safe room songs do. I think this one belongs in the C tier. I think the 4 remake has better safe room music than its counterpart. It has the same low-key and eerie, but still hopeful vibes the 2 remake has, although I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of the second part of this song. It kind of falls off and loses the chilling notes. Also, I don't think this music fits that well with the village ambience of this game. To me, it feels more appropriate for a city setting, like the Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake. It just feels industrial for some reason. I guess I'll put this one in B tier. Considering the Umbrella Chronicles is a light gun game, I think this kind of safer music is quite fitting for its gameplay considering its way faster pace and heavy focus on combat rather than running around, figuring out what to do, and conserving items and ammo. This is the type of song that should have appeared in Survivor. This bass heavy beat with the electronic whoops makes me feel like there's only one door separating me from some evil abominations, but instead of being terrified, I'm ready to tear them down. I'm gonna fight, not run away. This one goes into A tier. Resident Evil 5 doesn't have any safe rooms, so we'll just be using the in-between level screen for this one, considering it is this game's safe room in a sense. Anyways, I quite like this one considering it's fairly chill and laid back, but it still has a touch of eeriness to it, so players know their safety is only temporary. It also has a hint of melancholy to it, which is also appropriate considering how sad it is for Umbrella to release a virus amongst very vulnerable people. I put this one in B tier. I think the Darkside Chronicles has a fine enough composition, but again, its slower pace doesn't really fit with the fast action these light gun games have. Now, I'm not asking that these safe rooms be so upbeat and like a rave, but it'd be nice if they were more adrenaline pumping, got you in the mood to slaughter some zombies rather than the gloomness of the safe rooms from the main series. This one goes into C tier. I like how Revelations 1 has a bit of an aquatic theme to its mood to reflect the situation the characters are in. Composition wise it's fine, but I think it's a little too gloomy to the point where only the tiniest amount of security passes through to soothe the player. I put it in C tier. Yeah, Resident Evil 6's safe room music is far from my favorite. It's too upbeat and doesn't produce a feeling of mystery, safety, or as the youngsters would say, chill vibes. Now I know that 6 has some of the fastest gameplay out of the main series and even throughout the whole series, but I think the style of music doesn't really fit well with this franchise. Not to mention, the games that preceded 6 weren't that much slower in terms of gameplay, and they had the usual safer music, so I don't think there's much of an excuse. 6 is going into D tier. I think Revelations 2's Safe Room song is decent enough. It's got the same dark ambience as the game, but I wish it sounded a bit more hopeful. I think it would have served as a great metaphor between the scared rookie characters of this game next to the more optimistic veteran characters. I'm putting this one in B tier. 7 has such good safe room music. That droning electronic murmur in the background reminds me of Ethan's constant state of confusion considering how he was just thrown into this mess without any knowledge of anything related to the previous games. Everything comes together to really sell the idea that Ethan is constantly on edge, just trying to survive and get his wife the hell out of the nightmare they ran into. A tier for sure. 'I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with 8's safe room music, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I will say, I do enjoy how this music has the same vibes as 7's, but it isn't as droning or draining considering Ethan knows a thing or two because of his previous encounters, and it does fit the village ambience of 8 just fine. With that being said, there's not much to it. It's very much low key, and there's really no energy to it. Personally, I would put 8 into C tier. 9 is one of the best safe room songs in my opinion. It has the perfect amount of mystery and unsettledness. It fits perfectly with Grace's state considering how terrifying everything is to her in that moment. The echoing piano is so immersive too, it just wraps everything up so nicely. Easy A tier for me. Well, that's all the Resident Evil safe room songs. To me, they're much more than just a small place for players to save their games and put some items away. It gives players a bit of rejuvenation before they go back to the carnage of the undead. The tunes that played into the small sense of security but kept things creepy were my favorites considering how well they fit in with the safe room's purpose. Most of the songs were pretty good too. Only a few tunes fell flat and didn't add much to the atmosphere. As I mentioned before, some of you might disagree with my tier list, so I'd love to hear what you all had to say about these safe room songs and which ones were your favorite and least favorite. As always, I hope you have a good day and let's get back to putting the dead back to eternal sleep.